Alright guys, so we're back, and this next way to share the gospel is you want to do this with Christians. You want to do this with people who are obeying the Lord and who are abiding in Christ at this time, and you want to show them and ask them questions on how they can go deeper with Jesus. So this is called Iron Sharpens Iron, and this is a very vulnerable way to follow Jesus. This checks your obedience and your abiding time with Jesus. And this is how we're going to go. So iron sharpens iron. And Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. So the first questions you want to ask is, how are you abiding with Christ? How are you doing in your quiet times? How are you just abiding in Jesus? How are you showing people how to live for Jesus? What are you doing? The next question you want to ask is, how is your ministry? Are you going out the prayer walk? Are you praying with people? Are you making disciples who want to make disciples? Are you being a true disciple of Jesus Christ? So after you ask them those questions, you want to affirm them on that. You don't want to be harsh about it. You don't want to be any kind of negative impact, have a negative impact on anything they're doing. Just affirm them and just show them if something's wrong with their abiding time, or you see something wrong with them obeying in Jesus. If they're not obeying Jesus the way they should, or if they're not abiding, they're not doing their daily quiet times, or if they're not praying, or they're not, if their ministry's not good, then do that in a positive way. Don't be negative about it. You want to affirm them in the ways they're doing, and show them ways to do it better if you think they can. So the next thing you're going to do after you ask them those two questions, you're going to have some clarifying questions for them. You're going to ask them, how can you go deeper? How can you share the gospel more this week? How can you make more disciples? How can we help you be bold to go share the gospel? You're going to ask them questions like that. And after, you're going to let them respond in that area. You're going to let them respond and how they can do that and how they can be a better disciple of Jesus. And after that, you're going to say, we're going to give you 2 action plans. 2 action plans in the next week. So one of my action plans was to go share the gospel with 10 people next week. That was one of my action plans when I did this, to go share the gospel with 10 people. And then my next action plan was to get involved in the college ministry on my campus. Get involved with the college ministry on my campus. That was my 2 action plans. And then you're going to set one action plan that is a month challenge. So my month challenge was to find a freshman or sophomore in college that I could disciple, that I could sit down and get coffee with, get lunch with, and make them a better disciple of Jesus Christ. Disciple them in different ways, in different areas that they're struggling with, different areas they need help with. That was my action plan. And then you want to get somebody to hold them accountable. Make sure you set somebody to hold them accountable, because that is very, very key in this. You want to make sure that these people hold them accountable in their daily quiet times, in their abiding time with Jesus, and make sure they're obeying Jesus in the right ways. Make sure that they are setting their plans right, and make sure they are actually following up with their plans. Make sure that you follow up with these people. The follow-up is the biggest part in doing this. The follow-up is the biggest part in doing this. I can't stress that enough. The follow-up is the biggest part. So you want to start off with iron sharpens iron. You want to ask them how they're abiding in Christ, how they're obeying Jesus, and how is their ministry. Let them respond to those questions. How are you abiding in Jesus? How are you obeying the Lord? And how is your ministry? And then you want to affirm them of those. And if there's anything negative, like I said, make sure you are giving them positive feedback in the ways they can do better if you see that. Then you want to ask some clarifying questions. How can you go deeper with the Lord? How can we help you be bold and show you courage in how to share the gospel or how to make disciples? And then you want to let them respond to those questions. Make sure they're responding in a good way. And then you want to allow them to set 2 action plans. 2 action plans in the next 7 days, and then 1 action plan in the next 30 days. And then make sure you follow up. Make sure you follow up. I hope these videos can help you, and I hope they're impacting you to go share the gospel. Thank you.